Hello and welcome to Joygasm, where we chat about video games, movies, and pop culture. I'm Russ, Xbox Live Toaster 360, and with me is Steve, Xbox Live Stevavitch, as we begin episode 71 on Mother's Day weekend, May 12th, 2018. To get the most out of Joygasm, follow us on social media of choice and YouTube. Just do a search for Joygasm TV. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.com/JoygasmTV. Also, for exclusive access, check us out at Patreon.com/Joygasm. And it goes without saying, too, that we are now on Spotify. So if Spotify is what you are into, please check us out on there as well. Today's episode is short and sweet. We're going to forego the gaming news and movie news, and we're going to go right into our topic of the day, which is going to be E3 predictions / what we hope to see. But before we get into that, I'd like to find out from my brother of the same mother. How you doing?
I finally watched Doctor Strange, Russ.
Did you now?
I did. I prefer the animated version over the real version.
Do you now?
I do. And not to say that the real live version was bad. It just didn't seem as exciting or as in-depth as the animated version was.
You don't say.
I do. So I would implore you, Russ, to watch the animated version.
Is it anime or no?
Yeah, no, it's not. No. Kind of, sort of, a little bit, maybe, but not all the way. No, Russ, no.
You're doing a fine job of muddying up the waters.
Well, the muddy waters do offer mystery, Russ.
They offer something, that's for sure.
Just don't drink it, okay?
No, I'll have to check it out if you think that the animation version was better than the live action one, because I actually like the live action movie.
I know you do. And after watching the Avengers with Doctor Strange, it makes more sense to me watching the animated version than watching the live version.
The only issue I had with the movie was the actress who played kind of the Morpheus character. I can't remember what her name is.
Morpheus.
But she had the bald head and everything else.
Oh, right. She was on the island.
She wasn't. That wasn't Kate Blanchett, was it?
No.
I don't remember what the name of the actress is.
Yeah, she was on the beach movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Beach movie?
The Island or something like that. I know what her name is. Give me a second.
Oh. I think she was also in Thor Ragnarok, wasn't she? Wasn't she Hela?
No.
Or maybe I'm getting my... No, that was Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett was Hela in Thor Ragnarok. But now I'm wondering what her name is. Are you M-dibbing it, Steve?
I'm M-dibbing it. Give me a second here. Tilda Swinton.
What?
Tilda Swinton.
Let me see that.
There you go.
Tilda Swinton.
Grab the phone from my hot little hand.
You are correct. She also played, I believe it was Gabriel in, Constantine.
Oh.
Yes.
Constantine, yeah.
Well, if for nothing else, I'm glad that you did see it. Did you happen to like any parts at all from the film?
Well, I mean, I like the scenes with the librarian. He's not the librarian. Well, I guess he is the librarian kind of guy. He was cool. I wish they would have showed more of him in the Avengers movie. He was a cool guy. Otherwise, I think what's the Cumberbatch, the guy,
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah,
I thought he did a very, very good job. I just thought that there wasn't enough like magic play, I guess. There was more like kaleidoscopic, illusion stuff, which was cool, but I think he has more abilities than that.
I never read the comics, so I don't really know what all he's capable of, but I did really appreciate just how they were altering the different realities, how like it really had a sense of inertia to it, and just some of those sequences all together, you're like, whoa, like if you were in that situation, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah. The one of the scenes that I thought was pretty funny was, he is going back to the hospital, and his love interest, who is tired of his ego, as well as everybody else, and he's coming to her from the other realm, like in her conscience, and I guess. And he's always calling on her in the last minute, and it's like nothing until he's right there in front of her. She's getting all startled, and she just wants to do her job. And I forgot what her name is, but she keeps on coming back at her, then coming back at her. And she rolls her eyes like, oh! That was pretty funny. But
I actually forgot like how Stan Lee had his cameo in that movie.
I think he was some sort of passenger on a bus or something like that, or yeah.
Okay.
At the end of the movie with the little Marvel last little bit there.
Little Easter egg?
Yeah. It was the beginning part of Thor Ragnarok. And that get played right into that movie when Thor comes to see him and trying to find Odin. Which they don't really, the Marvel movies don't really do that. They don't play right into the movie. They usually show like a snippet, a glimpse of what to expect, but not like, here's a scene from, anyhow.
What else is going on with you, Steve?
Well, I watched, the parents were visiting out here. Right?
Yes.
And they rented a movie that they didn't take back and ended up watching it. One of the documentaries they love watching so much.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's like some sort of independent indie documentary.
You're warm.
Like you could easily just fall asleep while you watch.
I did fall asleep, but that's because I had a long day. But actually, HBO produced it. It was made really independently, like Sony camcorder style. But
it was so independent. It was made by iPhones.
So, but it was slightly political, so I don't want to really jump right into it. But man, it is a little bit eye-opening. It was basically about the companies who make the polling machines when you go to vote.
Ah, yes.
And all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on there. Russ.
Oh.
Very interesting stuff. And I don't mean for the better.
Huh? No.
Now, I have seen you online a couple times, but I just said, Toaster 360, Xbox Live, home. Or like watching a movie or something. So I know you haven't been playing that much Xbox. You've either been on PlayStation or watching movies.
I will have you know I have been playing a fair amount of Xbox. My daughter recently has actually been getting into watching her daddy play games. You can cue the "aww" right about now. But
Daddy, but God of War, Daddy.
No. She has actually really gotten into Peggle.
Oh, yeah, it's Peggle.
And so I've been playing Peggle 1 and Peggle 2 with her, and she just absolutely loves it. She loves just being able to control where the little metallic ball drops and just getting all the Peggles hit. And she's very into the characters that just kind of hang out by the lower left-hand corner there, and she likes to pick out the different skins and whatnot. Also, we were playing Rayman Legends, which she is a huge fan of.
Yeah.
And that's a game that just never ends. Like, I've been playing that game for a while now, and it's not a game that I just continuously binge play. I'll play for a little bit, and then I'll put it down, and I'll be playing some other games for a bit. And then I'll always come back to it because it's just one of those really enjoyable 2.5D, well, it's mainly 2D side scroller platformer type games, but just a really like well produced game. And of course, God of War, as you love to tease me about, been getting farther into that game. Still have not beat it yet. There has been a lot that has transpired, and I don't want to spoil it for you. I think that you're going to just need to pitch a tent here in my house and have you just play through the game just so you can experience the story for yourself. I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I actually were to spill the beans on that one for you.
I'll either camp out here or I'll just take the whole system back with me.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that too. You can take my PS4 over and get some proper playing in. But it's seriously a really great story. Just the character arcs between the father and son, as well as the different characters that you come across in the game, whether they are antagonists or neutral or allies. You never know.
It's funny when you're playing. Your son almost has more courage than you do because you're like, oh man, these baddies are coming, and your son just goes, ah! Runs out there with his little bow and arrow. He's like 10 years old. I'm like, okay, well, be the distraction then. I'll the buff father with the big axe will hang back.
Well, he has the life experiences. He's not all about like just jumping in and wanting to like lay waste. He's kind of like, well, hold on a second. Let's assess the situation first and
Go ahead, single offspring.
yeah, little 10-year-old's like, wah, getting in there. But no, it's
Go ahead, flesh of my flesh. Go ahead. You just go on and take care of all the baddies. I'll hang back here where it's safe. Warm near the fire.
run forth, my fruit of the loom. But it's been a lot of fun. Just the story has been progressing nicely. And honestly, I have no idea how much I have left to play. I really don't. Like I keep thinking, oh, I'm getting close to the end based on what's happening. And then I'll be playing for another 5 to 10 hours. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it wasn't the end. I guess we have some other stuff going on. One of the things that I'm curious about is there's a certain section, this is not a spoiler, but there's a section of the world map where if you go to it, you have the ability to be able to go to these different realms. But I've only been to like half of the realms. And I don't know if there's going to be some sort of DLC content that's going to come later on and unlock those areas, or if I have that much more to go check out and see. I have no idea. I don't know what to expect.
Just cracked my neck. It felt great.
Did it vibrate your brain cavity?
Not that high. It was rather a lower crack, but it was good. By the way, speaking of
Did it jingle your collarbones?
Whoa!
I think my collarbone just played the chopsticks.
Speaking of DLC, did you ever play the Ninja Turtles and your Injustice?
I did for a little bit. I need to get back to that. I did play more of that game this week as well.
Nice.
I didn't actually play as the Turtles though. I was still going through and just having fun with all the different types of characters. I did a lot of spring cleaning in my Injustice 2 because I realized I was kind of having this overspill issue where like just almost every character I had, all of the little like armor slots were all taken up. And so if you didn't make room, then you'll miss out on all the different things. I also didn't realize too, I had a ton of boxes, like loot boxes to open up within Injustice 2. So that was a bit surprising. I spent a fair amount of time opening all those things up. So didn't do a whole lot of fighting. It was, like I said, it was mostly like spring cleaning, organizing, structuring. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done here. I'm going to go to another game. I also am happy to tell you I received my Movie Pass card.
Did you?
I know last week I was saying how I was expecting it in the mail, and it has come. So I'm looking forward to trying that out.
I read something on Yahoo News that said that Movie Pass was about to go because it was bankrupt or something.
I was just about to go into that. But I saw the same thing where apparently like I think it's like there's some numbers where like they've made like 15 million. I don't know if it's like 15 million per month or something, but they're spending like 21 million per month.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, you guys, you're it's just like fate would have it is like, as soon as I join, then it's probably just going to go belly up. And it's like, yeah, no, you're not going to get anything. It's like, of course it's going to happen that way. One of the big things that actually happened to me just yesterday really is my lovely wife decided to get tickets for us to go to the Fort Worth Symphony. And we checked out the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark experience, which was really enjoyable. They actually had this big screen. If you recall early on when we started Joygasm itself, do you remember how we went to the Lord of the Rings experience in Dallas?
I don't remember the Lord of the Rings experience. I remember you went to a bunch of John Williams stuff.
So I believe it was early on when we started this podcast. In Dallas, they had the Fellowship of the Ring. And it was where they had this big screen and you would watch the movie, but the music itself was not a part of the movie. You still had the voices and the sound effects, but the Dallas Symphony Orchestra were actually performed the entire soundtrack from start to finish, even through the credits and whatnot. It was just fantastic.
Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. I don't mean to. I don't mean to.
What is that, the Forrest Gump version? So anyway, this one actually took place, like I said, in Fort Worth. The exterior of the building itself, and the building is beautiful. I was really just awestruck by the architecture. It's very much in the Art Deco type style. And the Fort Worth Symphony, my hat goes off to them. They did a terrific job in that too. It was really fun. You know, the wife...
You don't wear hats, Russ. Don't lie.
I wear hats all the time. What are you talking about?
Whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
Whatever.
My baseball cap goes off to them.
Yes.
Art Deco, Fort Worth Symphony.
The wife
Oh, yeah, that too.
had not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I was shocked. I totally thought I had shown her that early on in our dating adventures.
Did you get up in front of everybody and go, what?
Yeah.
You haven't seen this?
I mean, I was pretty floored, but at the same time too, I completely didn't know that the movie portion was a part of it. I thought we were just going to listen to them do like just a kind of a curated version of just the different Indiana Jones tracks that John Williams had composed. And then I got there and I saw the screen. I was like, oh, we get to watch the movie too. And she's like, I told you this like 5 times already. I was like, oh, well, that's just me being non-paying attention-ish.
I just swallowed water and it went down the wrong pipe. I'm going to have the hiccups for the rest of this show. Anyway, what happened in the news?
I'm like sitting here trying to tell you a story and you're choking on your water.
Ugh.
Anyway, a lot of fun. I can just wholeheartedly tell you that the talent there was terrific. It sounded just like the film. In fact, when we left the theater, we were talking about how I even said the theater when we were leaving the concert. Both my wife and I were talking about how multiple times while we were watching the movie, we totally forgot we were in an auditorium with an orchestra playing the music. We thought we were just watching the movie. It was just that well embedded into the whole thing. So I, for one, really encourage not only you, but just all of our listeners out there, if you ever get an opportunity to be able to go to some sort of orchestra that's located at some sort of larger city venue that's kind of in your neck of the woods, check it out. I think you might walk away being really impressed with just how much talent is there. And it's such a fun thing. It's almost like going to a drive-in movie theater, but instead of you just listening to this, the sound through the speakers, it's like, no, like you're sitting there, you're in this wide open space. There's the movie screen in front of you, but then this music is just completely surrounding you. It's just amazing. So needless to say, it was a very splendid time.
Well, that's great, Russ. Glad you had fun.
I did. I had a very nice time. Did you have anything else that came into mind, or should we just hop into the topic of the day?
Let's hopscotch our way on over, Russ.
All right, let's make it a reality. Topic of the day, people. You will notice that I turned your mic down this time, Steve. I hope you appreciate that.
Mic or earphones? Because
Well, yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Turned your earphones down. Yeah, Because last week, even though it was quite the hilarious spectacle, I did want to torch you this time.
Thank you.
I like to, keep you guessing.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Okay, good.
So our topic of the day is E3 predictions / I don't know, wish list, I guess you could say, E3 wish list. What you hope to see, that sort of thing. I thought it would be appropriate to start things off with an article that came out last week. And you may not have heard about this, Steve, but Walmart Canada had mistakenly listed a bunch of games. And it spread like wildfire across the interwebs. But yeah, I haven't one of the articles I have up on my screen right here. I'll just read you some of it, but it says, in what is probably the biggest single leak in video game history, Walmart Canada has jumped the gun on a large number of game announcements. Online retailers are always spoiling news of new games before they should do.
Stupid.
But it's usually only one title at a time, a few days before they were supposed to. Well, Walmart Canada, though, has messed up in the most spectacular way after online tipster, and I know who this guy is, Wario64, noticed that there was a certain listing that revealed what seemed to be almost every unconfirmed game due to be announced at the E3 Expo next month.
Why? So, do we even go into what we're going to expect then at that point? I want this to happen. Well, too bad it ain't. I already know what it is.
Well, I think it's important to reemphasize that this is not like there's not proof that states, oh, these are the games that are going to be announced here. Like it's kind of in that gray zone of like, well, were they trying to anticipate? Like basically it was like a fat finger syndrome, right? Where like they were trying to like set up their future price lists and that sort of thing of the games and with like the box art and whatnot. And then somehow it accidentally got published instead of just saving it as a draft or something.
That's fat finger syndrome.
It's a form of it. Yes.
Sausage link syndrome.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of, like I said, it's in that gray zone where like, it's not, there's no, I don't know what you want to call it. Like, basically, it can't be proved either way. Like, is it just rumors or like wishful thinking? Or is it like actually like, nope, that's it, and you ruined it. Way to go, Walmart. I'm not exactly sure which way to believe. I have a feeling it's probably more towards the true side. But I don't know. I have the list of especially like the bigger announced games here on my screen. I don't know if you want me to go through those first or if you would like to talk about what you would like to see. And I can tell you if you will see it.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. So I'm slightly confused.
Okay.
And that means that might mean because I tune you out sometimes. But
you tune me out all the time.
So did they publish what is upcoming? Because everything's upcoming. I mean, they're all going to get the games that everyone's talking about at some point. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be revealed at E3.
So the nitty gritty of this whole thing, the crux of this whole thing, Steve, is that the page that Walmart was working on itself, it looked like it was going to be released like for the holidays, like it was going to be later this year.
Okay.
So it goes pretty much without saying that like those, like if those games are in fact to be believed, that they were probably going to be given like a big hoopla at this year's E3. That's what it is. It's like basically they spilled the beans a little too soon.
Oops. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
You know what, Steve?
What?
I'm just going to go down this list for you.
Let's go down it.
Let's make it easy.
Okay. Easy button.
So, Assassin's Creed.
Another one. Every year has to go by and another Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Looks like it could be a spin-off from Origins that includes ancient Greece.
Ancient Greece, huh? That could be interesting.
This next one is one that I was actually very excited about. Splinter Cell.
That's a title we haven't heard from in a while.
Yeah. Good old Sam Fisher. And, people have been...
I'm 60 years old.
I'm still dangling from catwalks.
I'm in competition with Solid Snake.
My back hurts.
I can't crouch like I used to, but we're going to get this done somehow.
Night vision goggles are making an imprint on my forehead.
Guns are getting heavy. Why do I always got to walk around in the dark?
If I've got to squat one more time.
I need Dr. Soul gels in my shoes. My feet hurt.
So it's no secret that a lot of fans, including myself, I'm a huge fan of Sam Fisher. I love the Splinter Cell series. I've been wanting to have like a next gen game for some time. And I was also reading too that I guess it's already had one retail leak on Amazon, which I haven't actually looked at too much, but Ubisoft hasn't come forward and confirmed or denied or anything. That's one of the interesting things about this too, is that when this article broke, there's like all these people like just talking about it, but the studios have remained pretty tight-lipped. Like none of them, not none of them. There are a couple of them that did kind of speak out a little bit, but it was just
No, we're never gonna make another Assassin's Creed ever.
well, no, like they're not even like coming out with like expressing outrage. I mean, they're just quiet. And it's probably because they have partnerships. Like they don't want to antagonize Walmart. But Just Cause 4. Did you ever play any of the Just Cause games?
No, I haven't.
I have not played them either. But the last one didn't seem to do that well.
I haven't played them just cause I don't have a PS4.
Well, I think it's by Square Enix.
Okay.
Well, because you're a fan of Square Enix, so I thought you'd be kind of more up on the ins and outs of that, Thirsty.
I was trying to put a play on words there, but anyway. Right over the head. Okay, go ahead.
And it's good. There's another one called Destiny Comet, which I'm not too familiar with, but I believe it has to do with Destiny itself from Bungie. So I think Comet is an old code name, and it was used for Destiny 2 DLC. So I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to or not, but anyway, Activision hasn't released any kind of information about it. Now, this is one that's been kind of big, Borderlands 3. Game that's been rumored for years. And if they were to have some sort of E3 reveal. Honestly, Borderlands 3 is one even before this thing came out, I was expecting they were going to have some kind of presence there. Lego DC Villains. This next one was interesting too. Rage 2, which if you remember.
Oh, I remember Rage.
Yeah, the first Rage by id Software.
Yeah, that might be pretty good.
Yeah, Bethesda has made vague hints about a new Rage. So it'll be interesting to see if they do in fact make a presence.
That was the game where you had like unlimited ammo basically, and the strength of your attacks and your health meter was based on the damage you did to like the enemies and the environment. So the more stuff you blew up and whatever, the stronger you became, and the more like your health bar would stay replenished.
Oh,
if I remember correctly.
Isn't that the one that had like some pretty robust vehicle combat mechanics in it? Like you were in a car and you were blasting around like the sand dunes, like some sort of like post-apocalyptic. I was like mess up that word. Post-apocalyptic.
I don't remember there being vehicles, but I've been wrong before.
What game are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm just in a rage.
You're just talking about yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, Dragon's Quest 2 is another one that got mentioned.
Dragon's Quest.
It came out in 1987, but Walmart has already made lots of errors with other names. So it's hard to say what exactly this particular title refers to. Forza Horizon 5.
Nice. Wait, Forza Horizon 5? Then what happened to Forza Horizon 4? That might have been a little typo.
Maybe that was a typo.
Uh-huh.
Or did they come out with another one?
No.
No, because last year was just Forza Motorsport.
Right.
So yeah, it should be 4.
Forza 4.
Because Horizon 3 was the Australian one.
That's right. That's been the latest one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes no sense.
We're going to release 4, and then right away we're going to release 5.
Yeah, I'll bet you the Walmart guy probably had a typo or something on that one. That can't be right.
Bob, you're fired.
It's not for the reason you think. It's not because you leaked all these games. It's because you put the wrong number in front of Forza Horizon.
Bob, you had one you had one job, Bob.
Nincompoop.
And you're fired.
The Division 2. I never played the first Division. Did you ever play the first Division?
I did not, Russ.
The Division by Ubisoft. That was a game I was initially interested in, and then
It crashed, yeah.
It didn't crash. It was just the graphics, like the initial teaser looked really, really good, and then when they came out with like the big reveal, it's kind of like what? Like it was the same thing as Watch Dogs, where Watch Dogs looked amazing, and then when the game came out, I'm like, wait, this doesn't look. You guys reduced everything on this game.
Exactly. Ubisoft has a bad reputation for that.
And I have friends who've played the game; they do enjoy it, but I don't know if this sequel has actually formally been announced yet. I imagine it will probably, if it is shown at E3, they'll probably have some sort of big focus on it. Oh, this next one makes me very happy.
What's that, Russ?
Gears of War 5.
I'm
I'm telling you. This is perhaps the biggest surprise of all the titles that have been
No, it's not.
dropped here.
No, it's not, Russ. I knew there was going to be a Gears of War 5 after Gears of War 4.
Well, I'm just saying. The other ones had certain rumors or hints from the studios that they had a sequel in development, but this one by the Coalition, I mean, on the one hand, it's like they'd be insane not to make another sequel. But at the same time, this one was so tight-lipped that just seeing it makes me happy too, just because last year's E3 was really devoid of any kind of AAA title. That was one of our biggest beefs that we had with Microsoft, was just they had such a focus on the indie developers that we really didn't get any kind of representation when it came to just do these like kind of hardcore AAA titles. So I, for one, am very excited to see Gears of War 5 and just to see what they do with it. So there are, there's a bunch of others. Dreams for PS4. Beyond Good and Evil 2, which we did get a kind of a teaser pre-rendered cinematic trailer from last year. So it would make sense that they'd show it here. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Of course, they're going to play that one.
WWE 2K19.
Wait. You can't just gloss over Final Fantasy VII, Russ.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now,
allow me to back up.
If that's going to be released over Christmas or whatever that's going to be released this year, that's when I'm definitely camping out at your house, or I'm stealing the PS4. And you're going to be stuck with the Xbox. You're not going to see me for like a month.
That's fine. That's fine. I know that it is absolutely imperative that you get some TLC quality time.
Now, they were thinking of releasing the game in two or three different parts. Now, does this just say Final Fantasy, or does it say?
This literally just says Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's not a lot of details other than that.
Bob, you missed out the second half of the title of the game. You're fired.
Bob. So yeah, WWE 2K19. That that's not a huge surprise there. And there's Insurgency Sandstorm, which I have not heard of before. This one, The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm not really surprised with that because they've been teasing and hinting that for the last year at least.
Yeah.
And so I imagine Sony will have that as probably like their kind of center point, if you will, of
probably their kickoff one.
Or maybe the kickoff, yeah. Mm-hmm. Metroid Prime 4 for the Nintendo Switch.
Does it say Spider-Man anywhere on there, Rose?
No, because it's kind of that one's like a foregone conclusion that it's going to be there. I mean, it was already at last year's E3. They had that pretty in-depth
True
game demo, yeah.
Cyberpunk Cyberpunk on there, Buzz?
It is not.
Really?
At least not. I mean, on this particular list doesn't mean it's not going to be there.
Right.
That could fall under the category of I hope that we get a chance to see it.
Indeed.
Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch. Again, not a huge thing because I kind of expected that something like that to happen. NBA 2K19, and that about rounds it out. I mean, like it wasn't like every single game, but I mean that's a lot of titles that got pushed out. So it'll be interesting. I really do hope going back through this that, of course, Forza Horizon. Well, I'm going to call it Forza Horizon 4. It'll be great to see what that looks like. Gears of War 5, of course. Rage 2 has piqued my interest a bit. Borderlands 3, be interesting to see what they do with that. Splinter Cell, and even Assassin's Creed. I mean, you're an Assassin's Creed guy.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda. Oh, he's hemming and hawing over here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm. If you played one Assassin's Creed is like Call of Duty. If you played one of them, you pretty much played them all. No one really knows what they're doing with the series. They're just trying to go different places and do the exact same things again and again. But I will say that the cityscapes they make, whether it's like London or Paris or Colony, New Boston, New York sort of thing. I mean, they do a great job making these cities and the atmosphere and whatnot. So if it's in ancient Greece, that could be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But with any other Ubisoft Assassin's Creed, you just wait a couple months and then price drops in half. You pick it up for $30.
There you go. So segueing over to more of just our predictions and wish lists, I think it's perfectly fitting to start that off by talking about Cyberpunk 2077. I really, really want to see that. I think that's kind of almost like a combination. I think that's both a prediction and really wanting to see it. Like, I think that there's a very good chance we're going to see something from them. What do you think?
I think I would agree. I mean, we haven't, since The Witcher 3, we haven't heard anything from CD Projekt Red at all. And people are going, okay, Cyberpunk either has to be just as good because you set the bar really high.
Yeah.
And you haven't shown us like anything except for that one teaser trailer.
And that came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So everyone's really antsy for this one. But I heard it was going to be some sort of first-person shooter, which, I mean, I'm open to whatever. But
I just want to see something. I love Cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to see what they've been working on. And they've apparently just been hiring a ton of people to work on this thing. And it's been in development for like 5 years or something.
Yeah, they've done a lot of hiring. I've seen job posters that they've put up on their Facebook page, like, hey, if you can do this, give us a call. You can work from home. You can work, off-site sort of thing, So yeah, they've really been putting the money towards it, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm curious if we're going to see anything from Halo. Like, are we going to get some sort of teaser for Halo 6?
Yeah, we might. But I tell you, I'm kind of like Haloed out. Halo to me is almost like, or the later Halos are like the later Star Wars to me. So I see a Halo. I mean, I haven't played even Halo 5, and
Yeah, you're not missing anything in Halo 5.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it'd be cool to see Halo 6, and I might be glued because they do great cutscenes and trailers and whatnot.
I think 343 Industries has some soul searching to do just because they really did not do justice to the franchise with Halo 5. But and that makes me interested, though, in seeing what they're going to be able to hash up with Halo 6. They don't have to even show like gameplay footage. I just want to see some sort of quick little teaser that just like states, yeah, we're working on it.
Although if they did announce, if 343 announced like a Master Chief Collection edition of Halo 3, because what they did with the one they released earlier is they made Halo 3 like a higher definition version, and they ran it on 60 frames a second, but they didn't up the graphics. So like if you compared the Halo 2 or even Halo 1 with all the new textures and new graphics and everything else, and new sound effects, all that wasn't there. You got the regular Halo 3 running on 60 frames a second with a slight resolution boost.
Yeah.
But everybody who loves Halo 3, like me, You know, I want to see what they can do with it, with the Master Chief formula.
Of course, Anthem is another title that I really want to see some more stuff of. I don't know if they're going to necessarily show it or not, since last year was the big reveal. The title is rumored to be coming out in 2019. So I think that goes more toward, I don't think it's going to be a prediction so much as just more like what I would like to see. I would really like to see more actual gameplay footage of that title.
You know what I don't want to see, Russ?
And we switch to the glasses half empty. Courtesy of Steve.
Microsoft needs to hit this one out of the park. And I said this last time and they didn't. They only hit it to first base. And then you went to the Sony booth and they go, instead of listening to us talk and, have a bunch of, random YouTube people, let's just show you the games and the goods. And everyone's like, oh, yes. Microsoft needs to do just that. I mean, it was partly E3's booth and whatever, but then Microsoft continued with it and everyone's walking up, making speeches and just please don't do that.
Microsoft needs to pivot big time this year because last year they spent a lot of time on indie developers. And this year they're going to need to pivot toward back to AAA titles. They've got to really come out of the fence. I mean, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Anthem, and we talked about this back when we saw E3 last year, Anthem was the saving grace. Like when that finally was shown at the very end, it was like, oh, thank God. Like this is what I've been waiting for. This is awesome. But that was a BioWare title. That wasn't even a first party title by Microsoft. I do have a feeling that we'll probably see, and especially if this Walmart leak is to be believed, I do think that this year will be back to like that good old AAA title experience from multiple publishers. Like last year, we saw some of that from EA a little bit here and there. But Sony was the one that just really, it was like title after title after title. You're looking at all these different types of AAA IPs, especially first party exclusives. And really that makes me wonder too about Sony. Like we're probably going to see more footage. Like we're talking about from The Last of Us Part 2. We really haven't seen actual gameplay footage from that title yet. Spider-Man comes out this year. I'm very excited for that. God of War just got released. So they're making good on having these different titles that they've been able to showcase in the past come to market. And I'm just wondering if they're going to have any kind of other secrets up their sleeve.
You know what would be cool is if Sega had some title that was going to come out.
Oh, man. I don't think that's going to happen.
I know, but how cool would that be where they're showing all these previews about the games and the screen goes black and then it goes Sega. Or brought to you by Sega, produced or whatever. Like, the crowd will go like, what?
Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. Gosh, I would love to see that too. I don't foresee that happening.
You know what I also hope that they do is bring out titles that, or at least on the Xbox side, where it shows off more of the Xbox One X's software and powerhouse that I can do. Because in the last E3, it was like, oh, yeah, this one's coming out for Xbox and it's Xbox One X enhanced.
Right.
And it looked good. Like, what was the Nazi game you were playing?
Oh.
The real violent one.
I totally see it.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenschlagen.
Yeah.
So, that one was a good game and it looked just as good as the trailer and they did a phenomenal job. They really showed off the hardware and whatever. But I would like to see more games where they say, okay, you see the HDR, you see like the higher graphics boost, you see how much better this is than the regular Xbox, because if these generation systems are going to be around as long as the Xbox 360 was going to be around.
Right.
We're going to have this for the next 4 years. And so they got to wow us with something.
I've had friends talk about different titles really looking a lot better on the Xbox One X. Like they actually plopped in an older title, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they started playing it on Xbox One X and like they just were raving about like just how much better it looked.
Well, the publisher on that one, they made a whole new DLC content for the Xbox One X.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually played Forza Motorsport that came out last year. I went to the mall and they had an Xbox One X set up there and I was playing it. And you can tell, I mean, it does look nice. It does look really, really good. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think that there are a ton of titles that actually leverage the power of the Xbox One X when you go outside of like first party titles. Or, I mean, yeah, you'll like Rise of the Tomb Raider was a third party title. But yeah, it'd be nice to see more of them where you know, you want to be able to showcase the power itself. So we'll have to see. You know, going back to Sony really quick, talking about systems and all that, I wonder if they're going to tease the PS5 at this year's E3.
I would like them to, but I doubt they will.
Like maybe not do a full console reveal, but I could totally see them hinting at something like as a, one last thing kind of thing before their conference wraps up.
It would be cool. I mean, it definitely would be cool. Everyone would like it too. I mean, if you see some of these PlayStation YouTube channels, everyone's talking about the rumored PS5 specs and whatnot. So, yeah, that would be awesome. I kind of doubt it just because of how long these systems seem to be out for.
Yeah.
Everyone, the CPUs used to be around for 4 years, and like every 4 years, like a car, for example, that you would get a new system. Now it's been doubled to like 8 years.
Right.
Especially with like the family of PlayStations and the family of Xboxes. PS4 is not that old. Mm-hmm. So I think, if they released a newer system, people who spent money on the PlayStation and then spent more money on the PlayStation Pro, and then they, all right, give us more money for the next PlayStation 5, I think that would be asking for too much.
Do you think Sony will come out with another system to compete with the Xbox One X? Like call it like, I don't know, the Sony PS4 Super Duper Pro?
No, I don't think so.
They'll probably just skip to the PS5.
Yeah.
That makes the most logical amount of sense. What other kind of what?
PlayStation Pro Play.
So what other kind of predictions or wishful thinking do you have, Steve?
You know what would be kind of cool is, and this won't happen. This won't happen, Russ. But I got to thinking about this augmented reality stuff that you can get on these mobile platforms. And I got to thinking about the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo 3DS, about how you can kind of have a couple different screens and stuff happening on one spot and different stuff happening on another spot.
Sure.
If you can link an app of the same game with your phone and have different stuff playing on your regular TV and have information play on. I mean, that's almost 3D in a way. Like if you had your phone propped up and it was giving you all this different information that you needed to see, you needed to look down there and you look at your screen at the same time. That'd be another level of something that you don't have today. Especially if it was augmented reality. You had to kind of prop up your phone to look through, and see what's what.
I think it would depend on the genre of game, but I do think that would be really, really cool if like, certain parts of the game that were not intense in terms of, it's not like you're playing a first person shooter and you got to look away and go, oh, what's my phone say? But more like, I don't know. I could see that happening in like a puzzle situation or something.
I was just thinking, like, say you're in like, you need to look in some other realm and you need a tool, right? So you'd grab your phone, for example, and it would use the camera, like it would have to, and you would have to hold the camera up to like your TV, so it would have to see the game on your TV, and then you would be able to see like whatever you were having to find that was invisible to your regular eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of cool.
I predict that we'll see a Fable game.
Oh, they're making another Fable game, Russ.
They are?
Yes.
I thought that was just kind of rumors and like little things here and there. I didn't know that there was like an official like, yep, we're definitely making a Fable game.
They're gonna make another Fable game, man.
Well, then how about if I say I predict that we will see something for a new Fable title? What other predictions do you have, Steve?
You know what? I'm not going to predict anything.
Uh-huh.
I would like to see, and I'm still holding true, my Half-Life flame.
Give it up. It ain't never gonna happen.
Just bring out a Half-Life. Even if it's an enhanced version of what we already have, I'd love to play through that game all over again on next gen graphics.
I hope to see some new IPs. That's another thing. Is like we've seen kind of the reliable IPs that each one of the first party camps, they tend to churn out, and that's a good thing. There are a lot of titles that are just really, really fun to play, but I also want to see some risks taken and just be able to show, Anthem is an example from last year where that was the one title that came out that was like this brand new IP thing and everybody was talking about it. I want to see more of that. Don't know if I will, but I want to see more of that. Alrighty, well, that wraps up this episode of Joygasm. Make sure you tune in next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this episode, we invite you to check out patreon.com/Joygasm and pledge $1 a month for exclusive access to the show. Also, you can follow us on social media and YouTube. Just do a search for Joygasm TV. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.com/JoygasmTV. Last but not least, search Joygasm TV on Twitch to see us stream our gaming adventures live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll see you next time.
Later.